Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sheboygan A's Baseball. Alongside the intern, Charlie Heim, I'm Mike Martin. We'll be broadcasting tonight's game against the West Allis Nationals. This is a Wisconsin State League game. Sheboygan is going to try and break a two-game losing streak. They lost last night, which was up in Green Bay to the Blue Ribbons, and that was a costly one because they're both in the Wisconsin State League and NEW, so Sheboygan lost ground in those conferences. We'll give you the lineup for West Allis first. Logan Rodeman is the shortstop leading off. Dom Kibler is the DH batting second. Batting third and playing first is Brian Hunsinger. Batting fourth, the second baseman, Tyrese Mitchell. Batting fifth, Dalton Madsen, playing out in right field. Aaron Gex is the third baseman, batting sixth. Max Carrington Montgomery is playing left. He's a 7-hole batter. Batting eighth and catching is Kyle Smith, and batting ninth, Jonah Meidel, playing center field. Defensively for Sheboygan, they have Jimmy Jurgensen at first, Jack Council at second, Harry Stelt at third, Riley Palmquist is at short. In the outfield, Bennett Becker in left, Gus Walker in center, and Carson Hansen in right. Our battery tonight is Jared Recolaitis pitching and Justin Schnell catching. Charlie?
Getting into this game, of course, anytime that you have Jared Recolaitis on the mound, that's going to be big for Sheboygan. But another big thing is the temporary loss right now. Just visiting family is Brady Zackerson. Well, is not here for this game. I believe
that's why we had the little switch in the outfield. Bennett has played left field a number of times, and they put him in left and moved Hansen over to right because he's a full-time outfielder in college, so it's less of a hassle for him to slide over to right field.
Hansen played, this is going to be, as far as, home games at least, this is his first time playing out in right field. Not sure if he has played any outfield or any right field in away games.
For Sheboygan, this is their second meeting against the West Allis Nationals. They lost 14-9 back in early June. I was looking at the line score for that game. Sheboygan had 6 errors in that game, and that led to the loss, obviously. Hopefully they'll play better defense and break that 2-game losing streak. No balls and 2 strikes to the batter. Recolaitis looking like Recolaitis so far. Kind of a hazy night again. Those wildfires out in Canada. Give you our game time temperature, 75 degrees. It was pretty humid out there today. Count is even at 2-2. In the state league, Sheboygan is 8-7. West Allis is 10-5. We're trailing them by a couple of games. Fly ball out to right. Hansen making the catch. So we're 2 games behind. A win tonight would put us only a game behind West Allis. And Lombard's in first. West Allis is in second. Sheboygan in third. So an important game, Charlie.
Yeah, important game. Lombard, I think most of those 4 losses that Lombard at the top of the league had were early on in the season. They had struggled out of the gate. Of course, Lombard is the perennial champions out here in the Wisconsin State League.
Kenosha beat them in a 2-game set, I believe, or 3 out of 4. That's what it was early in the year. Walker taking control out there and makes the catch. And that's going to bring up Brian Hunsinger, the first baseman. West Allis is coached by Steve Elliott. He's going to be inducted into the Wisconsin State League Hall of Fame this fall, so congratulations to Steve. He's been a big part of the State League over the years. I believe he was a president at one point. First thing we looked at when we got here.
Hopefully not going to have any technical difficulties like we did yesterday, but 1-1 count.
In that game last night up in Green Bay, Sheboygan only managed 2 hits. And I believe it said in the little write-up I saw, they got 5 guys on base, 3 via walks and 2 with hits. Ball hit foul. Jorgensen, Jergy ran out of room.
Yesterday, the Sheboygan offense pretty much shut down, but of course with a 14-9 in their first appearance against West Allis, big day on the bats, as well as I believe a 9 or 10 hit game back on Tuesday.
And Recolytis finishes out the inning with a strikeout of Hunsinger. And after a half inning of play, West Allis nothing, Sheboygan coming to bat.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Let's go through the batting order for Sheboygan. Leading off is Jack Council at second, Carson Hansen batting second and right, Harry Stelt at third base playing and batting third. The Northwoods cleanup hitter tonight is Jacob Neese. He's the DH. Jimmy Jurgensen is batting fifth, playing first, of course. Batting sixth, Riley Palmquist. Batting seventh, Bennett Becker. Batting eighth, Justin Schnell. And batting ninth, Gus Walker. The battery for West Allis, they have Joe Roundtree pitching and Kyle Smith catching. Defensively, they have Hunsinger at first, Mitchell at second, Gex at third, and Rodeman at shortstop. The outfield is Montgomery, Meidel, and Madsen from left to right. We did not get any updated stats after last night's game for tonight's game, so we don't have current averages to give you. So we probably won't talk too much about that. CJ says, assume everyone's averages went down. When you only get 2 hits on the night, you're probably right. Council fighting that one off. Jackson's out of your screenshot, but Jackson over by the Nationals dugout getting foul balls.
Harry Stelt and Jimmy Jurgensen, the only 2 members of the A's to get hits in yesterday's game.
Jimmy and who else?
Harry.
Harry? Okay. Actually, the stats that we do have were prior to Tuesday's game. So we're actually missing 2 games worth of stats.
I do have some updated stats as of the following Tuesday.
Good pitch by Roundtree to get Council swinging. Carson Hansen is up next. First pitch to Carson is a ball.
One inside. Carson Hansen, one of the better hitters this year for the team. Again, we've mentioned a few times in earlier broadcasts, one of the better hitters that the coach over at UW Milwaukee has seen. He's showing that so far this year.
Said he's the best freshman hitter he ever had. Ball hammered foul. Count is even at 2-2.
So while we didn't have stats printed out for, fully, just going through the A's website, did have stats updated following the game on Tuesday. And following that game, Carson Hansen had a .553 slugging percentage. So very good hitter.
Full count pitch coming up. Bouncing ball. Mitchell dives for it but can't get to it. It's a base hit out to right. Hansen has 4 stolen bases on the year.
And it's possible that following a slow offensive day like yesterday, Sheboygan might be a little bit more aggressive on the base paths, and Hansen is someone who is capable of doing that.
That's a good point. If you're not doing much, you want to force the issue a little bit. Hansen had a nice lead on that first pitch. He's off. And he's in there safe. Nice stolen base by Carson Hansen. Harry Stout did his part by taking the pitch, allowing his teammate to get in scoring position. So with 1 out, we have a runner on second.
The pitch by Roundtree came in very hot, but takes a little bit longer of a time during his windup for the pitch. Hansen with a very, very good jump on that as well.
2 ball, no strike pitch coming up from Roundtree. And Hansen steals third. Another good jump. And a good throw by Kyle Smith. He got rid of it awfully quick, but a little bit high. And with that great jump by Hansen, he was in easily. Count is now 2-2. Harry usually puts the ball in play. If he can do that, we can score a run. The infield is back.
And an aggressive play.
Yeah, aggressive play by that third baseman. I wish Carson was slid.
As you were saying before, generally speaking, the infield's back. You don't really expect them to go with that throw home.
Well, to the third baseman, he was up a little bit. It was a pretty easy throw for him. Shortstop would have been a different story. Ball in the dirt. Harry's going to advance to second on the wild pitch. Next batter for Sheboygan up at the plate is Jacob Neese, the Northwoods cleanup hitter. See if Jacob can come through with a 2-out hit. A light breeze blowing out to center. Roundtree looks to be a pretty hard thrower, Charlie.
That one is looking a bit difficult to see, but with this angle, you can see it a little bit out there.
3-0. And that's ball 4. Sheboygan putting a lot of runners on base. Let's see if we can get them home. Jimmy Jurgensen is next.
Aside from that first pitch, I believe it was, a lot of those pitches very competitive from Roundtree, but none of them quite called as a strike, so Sheboygan going to take an easy 4-pitch walk.
Neese not being held at first allows the first baseman to back up a little bit. Pitch in the dirt. All the way back to the screen. So another wild pitch by Roundtree. Now Sheboygan with runners on second and third.
That ball took a little bit of a weird hop off of the wild pitch.
You know, I thought it almost hit Jimmy on the foot.
But Jimmy, I believe, getting out of the way, but the ball soared into the air.
Good check by Jurgensen.
On a wild pitch like that, maybe someone, a top level speedster like Gus Walker may be able to score because of the difficulty finding it, but
ball's popped out of play. Count is 2-1. Jurgensen up. We have Harry Stelt on third. Jacob Neese with pretty good speed at second. It's right on the inside corner. Jimmy didn't like it. Count is even at 2-2. Jimmy with a swing and a miss. Good pitch by Roundtree, and that ends the first inning with no score.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver.
Back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start second inning action. It'll be Tyrese Mitchell, the number 4 hitter in the Nationals lineup. Tyrese playing second base tonight.
Now, you were talking before the game how, you've been seeing some of these teams a lot more often than I have. I don't believe this would be the first time West Allis is here.
This year.
So, I haven't seen anyone from West Allis, but you were mentioned before the game that Tyrese Mitchell, a very strong player for West Allis.
Line drive out the center, but right to Gus Walker, who makes the easy catch. Hit it a little bit too hard. I'm telling you guys, line drives way overrated. Blue pits are better. Dalton Madsen, the right fielder, now up for West Allis. We have the A team up here in the booth tonight. Bill Wagner doing the field announcing. CJ in the middle, keeping us on task. And then down on this end, we have Charlie and Mike. And Jared makes quick work of Matson. Struck him out. Strikeout number 2 for Jared. And that brings up Aaron Gex.
Gex making a very smart play at the last frame with that throw home.
Yeah, it was a good play.
Boy, I'm sure would have loved that run, because if you have a pitcher like Verklitis, one run can easily be enough.
Yeah, you'd like to think that. There's a long drive. And that ball is out of here to right field. Gex with a long home run to right field puts the Nationals up 1-0.
Had to mention something, didn't I?
I wasn't going to say anything, Charlie, because I know you felt bad enough in the last game when you said that kid was 0 for 4 and all of a sudden he gets a base hit.
It's still a learning experience.
I believe that's the second home run given up by Jared. He gave up a long home run again in the, what was that, the heavy hitters maybe?
I believe actually he's given up 3 on this year. I think he had 1 before that game as well.
Okay.
Our stat sheet doesn't have home runs allowed.
What I do remember about the game the other night, the 9-6 loss, was that we got 2 quick outs, and then the kid struck out, but he reached on the pass ball or wild pitch, and they wound up scoring 3 runs on that. That one really hurt.
Sometimes even great pitching can be, can be set back by some defense, and that is something that we saw in the first game. You had mentioned before 6 errors.
6 errors in the first meeting between these two clubs, a 14-9 loss for Sheboygan. There's a breaking ball in for a called strike 3. And that ends the top half of the second, but not before West Allis scores a run on a long Aaron Gex home run.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot.
Riley Palmquist is going to step into the batter's box to lead off the second inning for Sheboygan. Sheboygan trails it 1-0. Palmquist at shortstop tonight. Council at second.
Riley, a very reliable defender for Sheboygan. Played a decent bit all around the infield. Mostly manning that shortstop position.
That ball gets by. Gex right down the line. That could be 2 bases. Good turn at first by Riley, and he cruises into second base.
A little bit of difficulty.
Before we leave Palmquist and move on to the next hitter, I just wanted to mention his favorite position is short, and that's what he's playing tonight. So I got a feeling he's happy about playing shortstop and not some other position.
I couldn't see it on our angle camera, just not able to catch it, but the left fielder Montgomery had a little bit of difficulty picking it up.
Wow, that ball came off the backstop, the brick part, and came right back to Smith. If he could have handled it, he had a shot at Palmquist going to third. But as it is, Palmquist able to advance on another wild pitch by Roundtree, and that, by my count, is
that's his third.
The third one.
Roundtree, a very strong pitcher. When he's hitting the zone, it's very difficult to hit his pitches, but he's just not had the best command so far today.
Ball hit into foul territory. Gex over to the screen, or the fence, I mean, and can't make the play, but he does open the gate.
And hoping to close it up a little bit as well.
Main helper looked like Harry Stelt walking over there. Good effort by Gex. Bennett takes that pitch for a ball, makes the count 2-1. We're in the bottom of the second. Nobody out and a man on third. Riley Palmquist. That ball is hit out into short center field. Center fielder comes in, makes the call. Strong throw home. And Palmquist will have to hold at third. Meidel with the strong throw home. It looked like Riley might have had a chance to score, but the reality of it was he didn't.
Really the best hope for that one is maybe the throw seemed a little bit further down the line, but just the speed of that throw too much. Playing it safe over on third.
There's a drive again out into center field. Meidel coming in. This time Palmquist is going to come. That throw is way off the mark. Sacrifice fly for Schnell. Gets Palmquist home, and we are tied.
Both throws home that Meidel has made have been, very strong in terms of just the power of the throw, but just a little bit offline. And Sheboygan going to take the benefits from that.
So bring up Gus Walker. We mentioned Gus hitting a little better recently. Hoping Gus can keep it going. One ball and one strike. There's 2 outs. Nobody on for Sheboygan. Council waiting on deck. Nice to get some more runs with 2 outs.
Mentioned that Gus a little bit slow start to his year in hitting, but he's still done a pretty good job of getting on base. On base percentage of .333.
That's not too bad. Ball is popped up on the infield. Rodman, the shortstop, one hands it for the third out. So after 2 complete, we're all tied up at 1.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Kyle Smith, the Nationals catcher, will be leading off. He's bats in the number 8 in their batting order.
It's been very solid behind the plate so far today. Roundtree making him work a little bit behind the plate, but
Yeah, I remember that game we had a couple of days ago where the pitcher was all over the place. His catcher should have got overtime pay. Nice play by Council over to Jimmy for out number 1. That brings up Jonah Meidel.
Meidel saying a decent bit last inning. Very strong throws out in center, but it's
way off the mark.
Yeah. Those throws get straightened out, then you can maybe get a close play on Riley, but
Yeah, I thought that was a really good play by Riley to take off on the second one. You know, he wasn't much deeper either. I mean, those 2 catches were basically the same area, and I think what put Riley in motion was where his first throw went.
something that you could get with these leagues just scouting out what everyone's capable of.
A little roller towards the mound, and Recolytis not able to make the play. That'll go as an E1.
Now, a couple of close attempts by Recolytis to get that one, but ultimately the attempt to glove flip it behind the back not successful.
Oh,
although I think by the
thank
time
goodness the runner wasn't paying attention.
Think
Not
by
that
the-
he would have been able to take an extra base, but yeah, just couldn't quite grab it. Logan Rodman, the shortstop and leadoff hitter, is up next. He gets nicked on the shoulder. It's going to put runners on first and second.
That one not exactly the most explosive of hit by pitches out there. Just clipping him on the elbow.
Yeah, at least nobody got hurt. Kibler, the DH, is up. Kibler flew out to center field back in the first.
It's a bit of a weird play with everyone kind of converging over at the same spot. Gus Walker ended up calling everyone off.
That pitch evens the count at 1-1. There's 1 out. The Nationals threatening with runners on at first and second. Oh, that's about all they could have done on that one. It's a good thing it rolled foul. Harry did the right thing. Kibler would have had himself an infield hit if that stays fair. Now the count is 1-2. Strikeout would look real nice. But you know what would be better, Charlie?
Double play?
You got it.
Double play.
A pitcher's best friend.
swing there by Kibler. Definitely was a full check swing. Pitched pretty high, but ended up making contact and fouling it off.
Ball into the bullpen area behind the A's dugout. Kibler takes that pitch low, evens the count at 2-2. Harry's a step behind the bag at third. Council and Palmquist are deep at short and second. And over at first, Jimmy is playing behind the runner, Rodman.
Kibler doing a decent job this at bat of keeping everything alive. Couple of 2-strike fouls.
Yeah, he's hanging in there. Ball is hit deep to right. And Walker not able to make the catch. And all runners are safe. The runner at second, Meidel, was running. If that ball would have been caught, Charlie, they might have had a chance at a double play, but it wasn't caught. It goes as a single for Kibler and an RBI.
One of the
The
most
Nationals have the lead again.
One of the most well-hit singles you'll see out there. That one pretty much right up against the wall. I thought that one was another home run, but ends up dropping. And Rodman, I think he thought it ended up being caught. He started running back.
Yeah, he did a good job of being able to recover and get to second base. Hunsinger trying to check his swing but couldn't. Strike one. That ball gets right by the mitt of Schnell. It's going to be a pass ball. Oh, you gotta have that. Now we need a strikeout, big time.
Schnell generally very reliable behind the dish, but that one just didn't fully have the glove on it.
Infield moves in also. Ball is popped up. Council racing back and able to make the catch just on the edge of the grass for out number 2, and that's going to bring up Tyrese Mitchell.
And a very big second out with a runner on third. Being able to get an out without allowing the runner to advance, something very big for any defense to have, especially right here for Sheboygan.
Recklitis having to work pretty hard this inning. He had a 1-2-3 in the first and got the first 2 hitters rather easily in the second till Gex hit the home run. But then he was able to get the next hitter, so not too stressful in terms of number of pitches, but this inning has been a different story. Good fastball, swing and a miss. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Mitchell looked like he wanted to give a much bigger lead with that swing there, but ends up swinging through it.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Recklitis able to get out of the inning with only 1 run scoring. Good job by him. But after 2.5 innings, Nationals are on top 2-1.
Story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract. Brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow. Raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit. Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract. Brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow. Raised by generations, willing to sip, share.
We got a good part of the order, Charlie, to make a comeback. Top with Council, Hansen, and Stelt. We're down 1. That run in the third inning was unearned. Came as a result of Jared Recolaitis' error.
Which, to me, that seems a little bit weird. I get it that it makes it easier if you just say all errors count as unearned, but if it's an error off of the pitcher, then that feels like weird. But
that's why also as a score marker, you need to make a good decision whether a ball is a wild pitch or a pass ball, because that can have an influence. Base hit up the middle by Council. Good start for Sheboygan.
As you said, coming into the inning, this is a very good part of the order for Sheboygan to have Council, a very good contact hitter. Carson Hansen, a doubles machine, and then Harry Stelt, the clutch hitter at the 3-hole.
Hansen's first hit was to right field. I remember Mitchell making a dive for it, but couldn't catch up to it. And then Carson proceeded to steal second and third, but unfortunately was thrown out at the plate. Council with a good lead over at first.
And Red Tree trying to keep an eye on Council out there.
Moyer giving signs from over in the third base coach's box. Let's see if that means anything. There goes Council. Hansen tried to check his swing but couldn't. But Jack is in at second with a stolen base. And Hansen now with a 1-1 count. That's the third stolen base by Sheboygan in the game. There's a line drive to the gap in left center field. That'll get down. Council rounding third. He's going to head home. There's a cut and the throw, and he's going to be out. Hansen going into second on the throw home.
That one just a very close play and a smart idea from Hansen. I think he knew right away that the throw was going to end up coming home, so he doesn't stop. So even with the out there, still have a runner out on second.
Good relay throw by the shortstop, Rodeman. It was a very nice hit by Carson, and Council was running like the wind. He just couldn't beat the throw. It was a good throw home. Sheboygan still with a runner in scoring position. Charlie mentioned how he kept running on the throw, so good job by Carson. And there's only one out. Harry up.
And that one...
Yeah, it was much closer than the first time he stole third, but he got in there. Good job by Hansen. Now he's on third again with one out, and Harry up.
And Gex doing a little bit of a smart play. Tried to, kept the ball a little bit longer, made sure that Hansen stayed on the base. Tried seeing if...
Okay. Ground ball to the middle, Charlie will score a run. That pitch is called a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Drive down the right field line. It's going to be foul and out of play.
Now that's a play where you kind of question, do you even want to catch that one if it's in play?
Yeah, good point. Good point. That would have been deep enough to score a run, that's for sure. And Hansen was getting ready to tag if it was caught. That ball gets away. And coming in and scoring is Carson Hansen, and we're all tied up at 2. Another wild pitch. And because it's a wild pitch, it counts as an earned run.
And that's just something that West Allis has been doing, that Joe Roundtree has been doing. He throws it very hard, but...
4 wild pitches by Roundtree. Harry takes that one outside for ball 4. And Sheboygan with runners on base again. Brings up the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Jacob Neese.
Neese walked in his first appearance. It's the second walk on the day was Harry.
Yep. Pitch in there for a strike. Harry not taking a real big lead over at first base.
A healthy
Jacob and he had a healthy cut. You're right. Folded right into the mid of Smith.
Swinging out of his helmet.
Jacob walked his first time up. And that's a breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. Good pitch that time by Joe Roundtree. That brings up Jimmy.
That was just a really nice curveball right on the inside corner. Not much that Neese really could have done with that.
Steve Elliott coming out to talk to Roundtree. I don't know what this would be about.
Looks like just a little bit of a pep talk.
That's what it must have been.
Now, to me, it kind of looked like as the manager was walking up that Roundtree, holding his hand out, I don't want to come out of the game yet. It's possible that there was some discussion about that. Looks like there is someone out in the bullpen for West Allis. Just walked out on the other side of the dugout.
Okay. First pitch is in there for a strike. Harry on it first. There's 2 outs. It's just off the corner. Each time that the Nationals have scored, Sheboygan has been able to answer.
Big swing from
You like
Jimmy.
your chances when you have Reclitis on the mound.
Sheboygan just needs that one inning to pull ahead by a run.
There's a bouncing ball caught. And Hunsinger takes it to the bag for the unassisted putout. Jimmy, no breaks on that one. But that ends the 3rd. And through 3, we're tied at 2.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Getting ready to start the top of the fourth inning. It'll be Dalton Madsen leading off for the Nationals. Madsen was a strikeout victim back in the second inning. First pitch is called a ball. Looked pretty good from here.
There's a number of really close calls so far in this game from both umpires. That one a little bit easier to call a ball.
Bouncing ball, foul, past the third base coach. Moyer trotting down to get that foul ball. Good hustle by the manager. There's a line drive up the middle. Almost hit Jared. And that brings up Aaron Gex.
Jared almost had the glove on it, but that's one where you'd rather make sure that you're not hit on that grounder than try to get the play. So Reclitus just being safe.
Gex hit the home run his last at bat. Madsen looking pretty spry over at first base. He didn't go on that pitch, but he did have a nice lead. We're tied at 2. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Gex with a mighty swing and sent a little dribbler down the third base side. Don't let that fool you.
Reclitus, the top 2 pitcher. No, at this point he knows that Gex can really get a hold of the ball, so really trying to make extra careful with him, especially with a runner on base.
Reclitus driving Madsen back.
Now coming into this game, Reclitus a .96 ERA, and we're looking between innings. Only one run that wasn't off of the home run hitter.
The ball hit foul.
Reclitus overall has been very, very strong
and
in his
Charlie
pitches.
was right, too. The home run given up this game was Jared's third of the season. Madsen edging off of first, trying to get a bigger lead. Another ball hit foul down the right field side.
This one I'm not quite remembering, but I feel like the first home run was against the Chicago Rippers.
That's what I think, too.
I feel that just sounds right. Not sure if it is, but
ball up and in, driving Aaron Gex out of the batter's box. Evens the count at 2-2. Be interesting to see what Jared's pitching plan is for Gex now that he's come up and in.
Anytime that you see that pitch well high and in, always worry about ball hitting the head, which never want to have happen.
Good fastball by Jared Reclitus to get Gex swinging. And that's going to bring up Max Carrington Montgomery, the left fielder.
Now on the lineup sheet that we had gotten from West Allis, it just had him as M. Carrington Montgomery. Ended up finding the first name through Game Changer, which is with how they officially have the scoring.
Pop up on the infield, Jimmy calling and catching. If you notice, Charlie, nobody ran. The guy at the plate just stood there. Of course, the guy on first is going to stay on first. Maybe if you drop that, you can get an easy double play.
Potentially.
Just saying. Never know.
There's a couple times when the umpires might have discretion where it's, I think it's like a spirit of the game thing where if you intentionally drop it.
Schnell trying to throw out the base runner, almost threw it down the right field line.
Nearly got him out on the strikeout to Gex as well. Schnell.
Yeah, Justin not afraid to throw the ball around the park. We have 2 outs. We're in the top of the 4th. Madsen still on first. Boy. Pitch called the ball. The catcher and the pitcher were both wondering why that wasn't a strike, but it's not. Their vote doesn't count. It's 2-0. Soft ground ball over to Council, and he makes the play, and that ends the 4th inning. When we come back for the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Riley Palmquist leading it off.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Riley Palmquist is going to lead off the 4th inning. He led off the 2nd inning with a double right down the left field line. It got by the Nationals' 3rd baseman, Aaron Gex. And Riley wound up scoring on a sacrifice fly from Justin Schnell. Joe Roundtree still on the mound for the Nationals.
Thinking maybe with the mound visit last inning, potentially Roundtree might have been done after the first 3, but staying in for a 4th inning, takes on the order for at least the 2nd time round. Turns over to the top of the order. It will be their 3rd time facing off against Roundtree.
Riley plunked on that first pitch from Roundtree. And a good start for Sheboygan. They get their leadoff hitter on again.
Now in a real fast pitch by Roundtree.
Actually, the last 3 innings, Palmquist led off and got on in the 2nd. Jack Council led off the 3rd and got on, and now Riley again here in the 4th. And those times we've scored in the 2nd and 3rd. Hopefully we can get another run or more.
Riley getting on the hard way there.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Square in the back.
Bennett Becker up. Bennett hit a short fly ball out to center field that Meidel was able to catch. A balk is called on Roundtree, and you could hear Palmquist over at first base yelling, "That's a balk." And runner advances. You don't see that called very often. And I couldn't tell exactly what he did either. But they're coming out to talk to Roundtree again.
Balk overall, just a very confusing play out there, and he will be taken out of the game.
That's it for Roundtree.
Still looking for the number just to get a confirmation on who the new pitcher is. Seven, which they don't have on here.
Bill's looking to see who the relief pitcher is. Roundtree not very happy about being taken out. They had come out to talk to him in the third inning, and Elliott left him in, but not this time. Charlie Heim is going to go down to the Nationals dugout and find out the name of the relief pitcher. As it stands right now, Palmquist is on second, and up is Bennett Becker. That first pitch to Bennett was a ball, so the relief pitcher will be starting his time with a 1 ball, no strike count on the batter. Hyde Clark is the relief pitcher. For Roundtree, he went 3 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs so far, both of those earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. If Palmquist scores and the Nationals do not tie or take the lead, it would be Roundtree taking the loss. Be interesting to see what Bennett Becker does, see what Tim Moyer wants to bunt Palmquist over to the third or not. Ty Clark comes set and delivers that first pitch for a strike.
Third baseman Gex playing up.
Yeah, he's looking for the bunt, isn't he? Pitch just off the corner, makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Palmquist still out at second, doesn't seem to be taking a real big lead. Rodman not deking him back too much, at least not yet. Bennett with a good bunt. Only play is at first. And Smith makes the throw to the first baseman, Hunsinger, for the putout, but a nice sacrifice bunt by Bennett Becker to move Palmquist over to third.
And Becker very close to reaching base on that one. That one a very well-placed bunt, but Smith with a very strong throw.
Did a good job of getting out there, too, quick as a cat.
Difficult for a catcher to get up out of the squat, run over.
Hey, Smith is a big guy. When he walked up to bat last half inning, I'm thinking, man, this is the catcher. He just didn't strike me as being that big, but he's a big guy. Justin Schnell up. Schnell had sacrifice fly back in the second to score Riley Palmquist. Let's see if he can get it done again. There's a drive out the center. This one will be plenty deep. Catch is made. And Riley trots home with the Sheboygan A's third run of the ball game.
That one just way deep. Meidel, no chance at getting that one out. And he knew it right away, just walking it in, basically.
For the first time this year, we miss you, Scott. For the first time this year, we have the attendance brought up to the press box. First pitch to Gus is a ball. 317 paid. That's a pretty nice crowd for a Thursday night. We have 3 different groups tonight, right, CJ? Rick Bumgart bringing a group in, A's Hall of Famer.
Had a group out in the tailgate pavilion before the game. Currently a group out in both the skybox and a group in the party deck.
Walker hammers that one, foul down the right field side. One ball and 2 strikes. There's 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Sheboygan leads. And a swing and a miss. And that ends the 4th inning. But after 4 complete, Sheboygan now on top, 3-2.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Getting ready to lead off the 5th inning for the Nationals will be their number 9 hitter, center fielder Jonah Meidel. Meidel reached his previous at-bat on an error and scored. We gave you the Wisconsin State League standings. Let's go over the NEW standings. In first place is Menasha. They're 4-1. Green Bay, with their win last night over Sheboygan, is 4-2, a half game behind. In third place is Kewaskum. They're 3-2. Sheboygan, with a ton of losses in the league already, they're only 2-5. And last place is Appleton. They're 1-4, and that's who we play tomorrow night, the Appleton Legends. So Sheboygan with a lot of work to do in the Northeastern Wisconsin League. Not quite as much in the Wisconsin State League.
You just mentioned the Sheboygan taking quite a few losses in league play. However, in any exhibition game, they have done very well. Only 1 loss in any exhibition game.
Ball's popped up. Council racing over and makes a jumping catch for out number 1. I was going to say, Charlie, it seems like, in the tournament to play, obviously we won 5 in a row down in Kewaskum. And some of those exhibition games, we've won a lot of games. But when it comes to league play, It's not been a good season for Sheboygan.
Yeah, just doing the quick math on it, Sheboygan 10-1 in non-league play.
Geez, I wonder what would happen if we drop out of the 2 leagues. Recolytis makes the easy pickup and toss for out number 2 on Rodman. And that brings up the number 2 hitter, Dom Kibler. Kibler had an RBI hit in the 3rd.
Rodman on that one. Trying to check his swing. I think it just hit off the bottom of the bat. Ends up rolling right to Recolytis. Sometimes that's baseball.
We mentioned Recolytis' pitch count has been pretty good, although we don't know that for a fact because we're not keeping track up here tonight. It was that 3rd inning that was a little bit tough where he put 3 different runners on base.
Didn't fully mention it when we went through the roundup of who's all up here, but no Lucas Schulze for this game, so I'm running the cameras for this one. And we don't have our pitch counter. He's been very good at doing that. So
Lucas Schulze not here tonight. He's got a summer league basketball game. Another ground ball over to Jack, and he makes the play over to Jimmy for out number 3. And as we enter the bottom of the 3rd, it'll be Sheboygan still on top.
Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Very entertaining musical chairs between 4 Sheboygan A's. And Jacob Neese was the winner.
Jacob Neese coming out on top over Ian Mary, Brad Reinflesch, and Michael Martinez. And to think that Neese is still playing in this game, too.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been something if he got hurt playing musical chairs between innings? Ay, ay, ay.
Was not saying that it's impossible for us to still see any of the other participants. Brad Reinflesch pretty often out of the bullpen, same with Michael Martinez.
Yeah, that's Jack Council's going to lead off the 5th inning for Sheboygan. We mentioned he's going to Michigan on a baseball scholarship. He plans on majoring in kinesiology. And usually when you get into that line of being educated in kinesiology, it usually leads to something else. Whatever that is, I'm not sure. We haven't talked to Jack about it, but it'd be interesting to find out what he plans to do with that kinesiology degree if he stays with it. Bouncing ball up the middle. Play is made by the shortstop, Rodman, but his throw is off the mark. It'll be an infield hit for Jack, and his 2nd hit of the ball game.
That one very nearly a fantastic play out there by Rodman, but the throw just a little bit offline. And even if it was on line, Council speedy enough might have still been in.
And that brings up Carson Hansen, who's having a nice game with a couple of base hits and a run scored, and 3, count them, 3 stolen bases. Jack had a stolen base the last time when he reached. He's taken a big lead. Not going on that first pitch. It's a strike. Roundtree had trouble holding the Sheboygan base runners. We'll have to see how Clark does.
Actually, just realizing pitching change. Brian Hunsinger taking on the mound.
Oh, okay. Hunsinger now pitching. Clark only went the one inning. Now we got to figure out the position changes.
Hunsinger formerly at first base. Might be Clark or... No.
Brian Hunsinger now pitching. Bouncing ball up the middle. That could be a double play. Flip to second for one. The relay to first is in time. Make it us.
Okay. I apologize. I misread the number. Actually, on the mound is number 33, Wyatt Hansen. 39? I can't read, apparently. Danny Belknap.
Quick double play. Eliminated Council. Hansen, of course, on the back end. And that brings up Harry Stout, but now with nobody on base. Rodman was a little unsure when he got that ground ball whether to take it to the bag himself. He decided to flip it to Mitchell, who made the catch, and then made a strong throw to first to get Hansen. Who's pitching? Belknap?
Danny Belknap.
Danny Belknap.
Bit difficult to see the numbers from this distance with the webbing in the way, but eventually got it around.
Yep.
Took a few tries, but
Harry fouls that one off.
Harry doing a good job at keeping alive against the new pitcher.
Clark finished out the fourth inning, so give him 1 inning of work, and he did have a strikeout.
Ball well outside.
Yeah, that was a bad one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Harry. Takes that pitch low. Peel down to the first base umpire. He says no swing.
Probably a little bit of a break to it. Harry generally not one to swing at or even think about swinging at pitches that far out of the zone.
Perry had a good rip at that pitch, but fouled it straight back. Harry is 0 for 1 in the ball game with the walk. That pitch low in the strike zone, but called a strike. And that ends the 5th inning for Sheboygan after 5 complete. Sheboygan still on top.
We are a family, and like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we're doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business. And we're introducing new products, like our Cool Water Personal Hand Sanitizer with essential oils. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by COVID-19. At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
At Northwoods, we are a family. And like your family, our main concern is safety. As a leader in the cleaning and sanitation industry, we are doing our utmost to support and supply essential cleaning, sanitizing, and maintenance products to your family and business.
Our next broadcast will be on Friday. That's tomorrow when Appleton comes to town for a 7:30 start. That'll be another Northeastern Wisconsin League game. That'll be our third NEW game this week.
A very active week for Sheboygan out in both of their leagues.
Jared Recolaitis still on the hill for Sheboygan. He'll be facing Brian Hunsinger, the first baseman.
Gladys still doing a very good job on the mound, covering well from the third inning. That one might have been...
That looked about the same height as the one to Harry the last half inning.
He is not now.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And a good breaking ball. Hunsinger swings and misses.
I think one big thing that helped with that strike two was Chanel, I think, kind of moved it ahead, moved it in. So good framing job there. That one very borderline on the edge regardless, but...
Mitchell up for the Nationals. Tyrese 0 for 2 in the ball games. He's done a great job at second base. Always puts out 100%.
The middle infield for West Allis has been very strong on the field.
Check swing, no swing. Peel made down again to the first base umpire. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Base umpire having to be pretty active on watching the pitches today. Lots of appeals down to him on check swings.
Mitchell a little bit late on that pitch.
And no appeal needed for that one.
Sheboygan in their classy black jerseys. Ball just fouled off.
But still pitching strong to this game. Six strikeouts on the day so far for Recolaitis.
Yeah, he's been pretty good that way. Oh, Mitchell couldn't catch up to that high fastball, and that's strikeout number 7. And there's 2 outs in the 6th inning. That's going to bring up Dalton Madsen.
Coming into this game, Recolaitis with 44 strikeouts, now up to 51, and only 2 walks given up. So Recolaitis just very strong at either making the batter swing and miss or just put it in play.
Let's see, I got him for 1 called strikeout. The others are swing and misses. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. There's a good pitch. Right down 8th Street. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. There's 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Sheboygan looking to break their 2-game losing streak and try to improve their standings in the Wisconsin State League tonight. They cannot climb over West Allis with a win, but they can climb to within a game behind of West Allis. Currently, they're 2 back. The bouncing ball to Palmquist, and he misplays it for an error. You know, I get visions of the other night, Charlie, when we got those 2 outs right away and the other team wound up scoring 3 runs after that. Let's get this next guy.
Being Aaron Gex coming up.
Yeah, Gex with the big fly in the second and a strikeout in the fourth.
Recolletius more than willing to try to shut things down here without letting Gex get much.
Meidel was on base back in the fourth, and I expected him to possibly be stealing. He never, he got a decent lead, but he never did go. It'll be interesting to see what he does with 2 outs here in the sixth. That time before when he was on base, Charlie, he was the leadoff hitter and got on and wound up staying at first the whole inning. Never did advance.
Victim to a strikeout, a big pop fly over to Jimmy at first, and then ground out over to Jack Council.
Gex on a swing and a miss. That makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. In a similar count, Aaron's last at bat, Jared Recolletius came up and in, and then got him on a fastball. Let's see what he does here. Got him. Nice pitch by Recolletius, and he strikes out the side. After 5.5, Sheboygan's still on top, 3-2.
All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story.
Back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start the bottom of the sixth. It'll be the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Jacob Neese. Jacob 0 for 1 in the ball game with a walk. We're hoping to get a few more runs, give Jared Recolletius a little more breathing room.
And Neese maybe, a little bit more energized since his last at bat because of his victory in musical chairs.
Well, we'll have to see how that affects his at bat. Belknap's first pitch is in for a strike.
Northwood's cleanup hitter and musical chairs champion. Both equally important, I'd say.
Pitch just off. Makes it 2-1. Ball hit high into short left. The left fielder can't see it, but Rodman, the shortstop, sees it and gets all the way out there in the short left field to make that catch. Good play by that young man.
Montgomery out in left field. That one could have been a little bit disastrous, but luckily for West Allis and unluckily for Sheboygan, I think both infielders on the left side for West Allis knew right away.
Jimmy Jurgensen, there's a drive out into center field. Meidel has a beat on it and makes the catch.
One thing that didn't really get to show off or talk about too much is that the infield was very shifted over.
I got a question,
Jimmy.
CJ. Did Jimmy take over Jimmy's walk-up song or Jacob's walk-up song? No? Riley Palmquist up. Riley's 1 for 1. He scored 2 of Sheboygan's 3 runs. Riley doubled in the second and was hit by a pitch and scored in the fourth.
2 hit by pitches in the game overall, and both of them very different. Riley taking all of one right to the back. Meanwhile, Logan Rodman back in the third inning just clipped on the elbow. Both resulted in a base runner.
Belknap with his 0-2 pitch. Spikes it all the way back to the backstop.
One that potentially, if Riley had swung, that could still have reached first, but would rather keep the at-bat alive.
Ball is popped up. Mitchell making the call. And he makes the catch, and that's the end of the 6th inning for Sheboygan. 1-2-3, and they're out of there. But after 6 complete, Sheboygan's still on top, 3-2.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
We're back at Wildwood Park. Denny Moyer calling out the numbers for the 50-50. They're giving away $219 tonight.
Well, it's a little bit too late for joining in on this 50-50.
We had to buy tickets one time. How would we collect if we won?
That's a good question.
Leading off the 7th inning for the Nationals will be Carrington Montgomery, the left fielder. He got bailed out by his shortstop in the last half inning. A fly ball was hit out to left. He didn't see it, but Rodman, the shortstop, able to range out there and make the catch. Pitch just off the corner. It's 2-0. Ball falls straight back.
Well, it's a little bit too late to join in for this 50-50. Tomorrow it is Bud Light night. There's a couple of promotional things going on for that.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that the Appleton Legends are in town. 3-1 is the count. So far in the ball game, Jared has not walked anyone. He's in jeopardy of walking the batter. Pitch is outside.
Now Kyle Smith coming up.
Kyle Smith is up. We're at the part of the order that you would hope Jared could breeze through. 7, 8, 9. Smith, the next hitter, is the number 8 hitter. Waiting on deck is the number 9 hitter, the center fielder, Meidel.
Smith 0 for 2 on the day with 2 groundouts. Herculitis hoping to induce another one.
First pitch was a ball. Good stop by Justin Schnell, not allowing Montgomery to advance.
Schnell, a very, very reliable backstop for Sheboygan, has done well in this game, has nearly picked off a few people on first base. Don't believe he'll be looking to do so here. Montgomery not.
Ball is popped up on the infield, and Council makes the call. And the catch, 1 out. And that brings up Jonah Meidel. Meidel, we mentioned, reached on an error and scored back in the 3rd. That was the second West Allis run.
Kyle Smith with his pop-up to Jack Council. 3 of all 3 at-bats involving Jack Council. 2 groundouts.
Yeah, Hunsinger popping to Jack, and Meidel popping to Jack, and Smith just did it.
Yeah, Council very active over on second base.
There was also a ground ball, a couple of ground balls, actually, 2 of them to Smith. So, yeah, you're right. Smith has involved Council in all of his outs. And there was one other one way up at the top of the order, Dom Kibler, back in the 5th inning.
So Jack Council just being very...
I wonder if Jack feels a little more comfortable at second base than at shortstop. Just saying.
He has been doing very well over on second.
Carrington Montgomery was off and running on that pitch, but Meidel fouled it back, so he'll have to return. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. How about a strike him out, throw him out? We haven't had one of those this year.
Nearly had a bit of an unconventional one earlier on with a strike him out, throw him out at first.
Ball is fouled out of play.
And one back in the 4th inning that I was referring to.
Lakeshore Auto gets a shout out on that foul ball. Would you please go down and police that? No running in the stadium. Pitch in the dirt evens the count at 2-2.
There's no running. That's why you master the art of the speed walk.
Yep, you got to do the speed walk.
When the pitching change for Ty Clark happened, had to speed walk down over to the West Allis dugout.
2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the 7th inning. It's a tight one tonight. Sheboygan trying to break their 2-game losing streak. Coming into the ball game tonight, they were 20-13. We've already spoke about the leagues, that their records are not up to par, but hopefully before the end of the season we'll be back up on top. Bouncing ball, slow roller to Palmquist, and he boots it again. I call it an error.
Now just an unfortunate play. Riley Palmquist, generally pretty reliable out there on the shortstop, but just overall, Sheboygan has struggled with the defense.
3 errors on the night, and it seems like we struggle more against West Allis. We talked about that game earlier in the year that we lost 14-9. We had 6 errors in that ball game.
That being errors number 9 and 10 on the season for Riley.
Logan Rodman, the shortstop, is up. Well, it would have been nice to get through the inning with 7, 8, and 9. That, of course, not the case. We have Carrington Montgomery out at second base. Jonah Meidels on at first. We have one out. We're at the top of the order now with Logan Rodman, the shortstop.
Rodman's played a pretty good defensive game for West Allis.
Yeah, no errors for the Nationals so far.
Reclitus trying to get Rodman's timing off a little bit.
There's a good fastball, fouled straight back. Harry even with the bag over at third. Jimmy Jurgensen is behind the runner at first.
Middle infield pretty close to the bag.
There's a ball driven out to deep center field. Walker's got a beat on it, however. He'll make the catch. And tagging from second and moving to third is Carrington Montgomery, but there are 2 outs.
Max Carrington Montgomery does advance to third on that one, but Gus Walker still able to get that quickly in.
It'll be interesting to see what Meidel does if he tries to steal second with Kibler up. I don't know if you noticed, Charlie, but just prior to the pitch that was hit out the center, both Council and Palmquist were really squeezed in towards the middle and left openings between the shortstop and third baseman and the second baseman and the first baseman.
Even right now, still the two of them pretty squeezed up tight.
Yeah, not as far as before, but you're right. They still seem to be up the middle more than we'd like.
Now, I think seems to be kind of with the scouting report, a number of the hits against Reclitus have been right up the middle, so trying to prevent those.
Well, the other thing is they might be getting in position to cover the bag on a stolen base attempt.
Meidel still not taking off.
Count is 2-0 to Kibler. Kibler is 1 for 3. He does have an RBI. Single in a run back in the third. There's a good fastball. Strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike. Meidel holding tight over at first. Max over at third for the Nationals, and we get time at home plate.
It is a little bit surprising that West Allis not trying to take a bigger lead off of first.
Pitch is inside. Good stop by Schnell. And that makes the count 3-1.
That one really close in there, but not quite close enough.
Pitch is in for a strike. Kibler didn't like it. A's fans loved it. Count is 3-2. Meidel will be on the move now at first base. And Council and Palmquist are in their more normal position now. Pitch is just outside. Well, it looked pretty good. That loads the bases. 2 walks in the inning. Tim Moyer coming out to talk with Jared Reclitus. Waiting to hit is Brian Huntsinger. He's 0 for 3 in the game for West Allis. Keep that going.
Right away, one of the first things I noticed after that The final ball call was Riley Palmquist. Not a fan of it out at shortstop. Thought that one was in there, but ump's call is the only one that matters.
No change being made. They'll keep Jared out there on the hill. He's still firing hard.
West Allis has just done a good job of keeping at-bats alive. Max Carrington Montgomery over at third, Jonah Meidel at second, and now Dom Kibler over on first.
Recolaitis looking to get this third out and get out of the inning unscathed. First pitch is way outside.
Sheboygan has the infield out in the normal position.
Yeah, it took a long time getting the sign from Schnell. And again, that pitch is outside.
Outfield for Sheboygan, mid-depth. Ready for something either over them or in front of them. Recolaitis settling in for the 2-0. Called off a pitch from Schnell.
Recolaitis coming set at the belt. Needs to come in with a strike. It's a bouncing ball to deep short. Nice hop for Palmquist. The throw across is not picked up by Jimmy. And a run will score. Give Hunsinger an infield hit. And give Hunsinger an RBI, and the game is tied. And we're still not out of the inning.
Riley, a little bit of hesitation. Thought he might have had a bit easier play at second, but that hesitation was enough for Hunsinger to get onto first.
That was a tough ball, especially when it took the high hop, because then made it a little easier for the runner to beat it out at first. And Kibler got a good jump off of the bag at first on that ground ball. That's why there was no play at second. We're all tied up. Roundtree off the hook for the loss now.
That one
pitch inside. Jared having trouble getting ahead of the hitters. He's been pitching from behind most of the inning.
Pretty uncharacteristic of Jared Recolaitis.
Very uncharacteristic, just like with Schmitty the other night. That pitch makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitchell. There's a bouncing ball in the hole. That's going to get through. That could score too. Kibler running hard. He's going to make it. And the Nationals go up by 2. It's now 5-3.
That one, no chance for either Harry or Riley to get at that one. Just perfectly placed in that gap.
And that's going to be it for Jared Recolaitis.
And I think CJ's saying that Jared actually made the signal to be taken out.
Yep.
That one, just an overall good performance, but one inning just fell apart a little bit. And sometimes in baseball, that's all that needs to happen.
I remember in my playing days, Chuck Zeikert would always say, walks'll kill you. And again, we saw 2 uncharacteristic walks in an inning by Recolaitis, and both of those runners scored. And it's unfortunate. Brad Reinflesch in the ball game.
Is it Brad? Just double checking with Boo.
Of the runs that have been scored in tonight's game so far,
Eric Zuberbier on the mound.
Eric Zuberbier in the ball game. Only one of the runs has been earned.
But it's still on the hook for the runners on first and second.
Yeah, Zuberbeer's a big guy. He normally plays with Menasha, but when I talked to him prior to the season starting, he said he was going to help out with Sheboygan when he could. And obviously this is one of the times.
Zuberbier, 13 innings pitched so far with Sheboygan in 3 games. 3.46 ERA.
Eric is from Appleton. Went to Fox Valley Lutheran High School. You see what he wrote down about college?
Did.
Not smart enough.
Oh, I was curious because we have our preseason roster, and that it's a generally pretty good rundown of everyone who shows up on the preseason. It'll have heights. I think it has weights as well, and then what college they go to. And I noticed that Zuberbier just didn't have anything for that, so I guess electing not to go to college.
Alrighty, let's get this. What we got here, 3 runs in for the Nationals. They lead it 5-3. They still have 2 runners on. There's a line drive base hit to left. That'll score another run. Coming around third and scoring is Hunsinger. So 1 pitch and another base hit and another run. Not been a good inning for Sheboygan. Aaron Gex is up. Aaron, of course, we mentioned with the big fly back in the second.
Well, it has been a while since then. You got to think that anytime you see someone hit a home run, the rest of the game you're going to try to pitch around him a little bit. Don't want to risk that happening again.
Well, they didn't do any of that. His other 2 at-bats he struck out. So I think Recolytis felt comfortable enough to pitch to him. He just made a bad pitch in the second. Another pitch in for a strike, but scoring 4 runs in the 7th inning, and now we're down 3 runs. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to do some hitting, a little better hitting than what we've done so far tonight.
Yeah, we had a very nice break, 2 very nice breaking balls so far in this at bat.
And we're finally out of the inning. Aaron Gex strikes out. They batted around and came up with 4 runs. And now after 6.5, it's West Allis 6 and Sheboygan 3.
Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver.
Leading off the seventh inning for Sheboygan will be Bennett Becker. I'll give you the final numbers for Jared. He went 5 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 6 runs, but only one of those was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 8. Did allow a home run. Recolytis went 6 2/3 innings. Huntsinger making the circus catch.
Nearly overran that one out in foul territory, but ended up getting it for a quick out number 1. As mentioned earlier on in the game, only gave, doubling his walks with this game, which, on the surface sounds pretty bad and ended up results not the greatest here, but it's only 4 walks in 30-some innings. Still a very strong record.
First pitch is in for a strike. Justin Schnell has got an interesting line for the ball game. He's 0 for 0. He's batted twice, but has 2 sacrifice flies, so he's got 2 RBIs in the game without any at-bats. Plate appearances, pardon me.
Anytime that you see a, late in the game and it's, 0 as the amount of at-bats in the game, always gets a little bit weird, but especially with the 2 of the 3 RBIs being performed by Justin Schnell. The other one being a score off of a wild pitch, I believe.
It's a hanging breaking ball, but all Justin can do is ground to the second baseman, and that's out number 2 in the 7th, and that brings up Gus Walker. Now you talk about Recolytis, he only has 2 walks coming in and walks 2 in the game. You think, well, that's not so bad. You're right, it isn't so bad. But both of them score. And just had trouble getting that last out in the top of the 7th. And even Zuberbeer came in, gave up a hit on the first pitch to the first batter he faced. It was one of those things. Sometimes when you're hot, you get the outs, and sometimes when you're not, things just don't go your way.
And really just the thing with Recolytis is, even if he does allow some base runners sometimes, which, still very efficient at not allowing base runners, but, able to get those out, and this inning just wasn't able to do that.
Well, the other thing is, looking at the way we've been playing, Schmitty pitched the other night. He did, a fairly nice game. He gave up only 2 walks. Unfortunately, the 2 walks came in front of a 3-run homer. And so, he walks 2, 2 of them score. Jared walks 2, 2 of them score. Just those kinds of things that put you in a slump. We're going to have to do some heavy hitting here to get back in the game.
Bring that up later. Gus Walker settling in on the 2-2 count.
Walker up there with a 2-2 count. There are 2 outs. Belknap's pitch is outside. Denny Belknap's pitched a good ball game since he's come in. The first batter he faced in the 5th, he gave up a hit, but then he got a double play from his infielders, 6-4-3, and he's retired the... Well, to make a long story short, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row. He's retired.
Gus, glad
see how
to
that
take that
works,
walk.
Charlie? You say how many in a row he's retired, and he puts a runner on. Let's see if we can make it hurt. Jack Council up.
Gus Walker drawing, believe, around 14th walk. Our stats are a little bit outdated. Do not include the past 2 games.
First pitch was in for a strike, and I think Smith is going out to talk to his pitcher. He might not have been expecting that breaking ball, and they're talking signs out there.
That's one where, that first pitch works, but, if it is talking signs, at some point the catcher might be wanting a fastball on the outside, and the sign just goes off. Ends up being
what makes it really tough is sometimes if it's a call a breaking ball, it's a fastball, you have trouble catching it, and then the runners advance. No balls and 2 strikes to Council. It's 2 for 3 in the ball game. Had a busy game over at second base. Ball is popped foul. Huntsinger is going to run out of room.
Don't believe we could quite see it on our cast, but we had single ladies playing after one of the pitches, and Tyrese Mitchell out on second was doing the dance. Putting his hands up when the song tells him to, so.
Maybe he was just stretching. No balls, 2 strikes. Council trying to keep the inning alive. Hit that one into short right. Mitchell racing and makes the catch to end the 7th. After 7 complete, the Nationals up 6-3.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot. Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the Queen?
Hello.
Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Getting ready to start the 8th inning. It'll be Max Carrington Montgomery. Montgomery led off the 7th inning when the Nationals scored 4 runs, and he led it off with a walk. Let's see if Eric Zuberbier can get him out. First pitch is outside. Charlie mentioned Zuberbier has pitched several games with Sheboygan this year. Ball is hit up the middle. That time Palmquist makes the play. And that's going to bring up Kyle Smith, the catcher.
Broken bat on that one, but right to Riley over on over at short.
The umpire picking up a piece of the bat and taking it over to the Nationals on deck hitter. CJ noticing between innings that he was pretty sure that Tim Moyer got thrown out of the game, and he's been spotted up in the stands, so apparently that is the case. Well, I thought he was going to come up and visit us.
Right as he was answering, while he was answering our rapid-fire questions.
Bouncing ball innings over to Harry. So nice Sunday hop there. Throws across for the easy put-out. And that's going to bring up Jonah Meidel. Jonah's reached twice in the ball game. He reached on an error and scored in the 3rd, and reached on an error in the 7th and also scored. In his 3rd at bat, he popped a 2nd.
So Meidel been 0 for 3 on the day, but with 2 runs scored. Not a very common line. Square up to bunt there.
Pitch outside. Looking at Zuberbeer's bio, and it says by favorite position, bench or pitcher. Yeah, these guys can get pretty creative.
I mean, I at least know that when I was playing baseball, I was a top tier bench.
Top tier bench.
Top tier bench player.
2-out walk, and that brings up Logan Rodeman.
Redmond flew out in his last appearance.
Breaking ball is stays high for ball 1. We got the 8th and the 9th to get those runs back. We need 4 to take the lead. Breaking pitch is beauty. Evens the count at 1-1.
Zuber has a very strong breaking pitch. Seen a lot of ones right in the zone and had some good command.
Pitch is fouled back, out of play.
One-two count. Zuber setting up.
Runner on first is takes off, but it's fouled. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Midle, surprisingly for the West Allis team, not too many stolen base attempts out there. Not even from their outfielders, who generally you would expect to have the speed to take off, but...
Right. They've run a couple times, but the ball has fouled off both times. Just like was the case this time. Pitch is low and outside.
And I believe on that very deep single back in the 3rd, I think that one they were also taking off, but it's too high to really make to take advantage.
2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Midle wasn't running on that last pitch. Let's see what he does here. There he goes. Again, the ball is lying down the right field side, but way foul. Hansen is going to chase it down. When we get to the bottom of the 8th inning for Sheboygan, they'll have Carson Hansen, Harry Stout, and Jacob Neese up. Hopefully we can get something going with those boys and get those runs back. Another ball hit foul. That one may have gotten out on the New Jersey Avenue.
Midle
We haven't had many of those tonight.
Midle getting quite the workout in this at-bat. A couple times.
If you get an extra base hit and he's got to run all the way around the bases, maybe we can throw him out at home because he'll be too tired.
Takes off again.
Hanging breaking ball. And a good hit that time by Rodeman. And after the 2 quick outs, West Allis is threatening again. And that's going to bring up Dom Kibler. Kibler's been a thorn in the side of the Sheboygan A's with an RBI single, a walk, and a run scored.
With that hit going right to left field, Midle didn't even have the chance to make the most of the hit and run, so all that running still ends up on second regardless. Kibler setting up. Very nice breaking ball there from Zierberbier.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Sheboygan trying to limit the damage. They're already down 3. You don't want to get down any more. Nationals with 6 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Sheboygan, 3 runs, only 5 hits, and 3 errors. There's a looping line drive out to left, but Becker right there to make the grab, and that ends the 8th inning for the Nationals.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Getting ready to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for Sheboygan is Carson Hansen. Carson playing out in right field tonight. Brady Zackerson not in the ballpark. Our next game we mentioned will be tomorrow night when Appleton comes to town for a 7:30 game. And then we get a little bit of a break over the 4th of July. And after tomorrow night's game, our next game will be Wednesday, July 5th. That's a 7:30 game versus Menasha. Now, what's interesting about that, Charlie, is that Zuberbier is pitching tonight for us. He could be pitching against us on Wednesday. Ball is skied on the infield. Hunsinger calling and makes the catch. That's going to bring up Harry Stelt.
That fly ball looked like one that potentially might have lost a little bit. Had to reach back, but still ended up dropping right into the glove of Hunsinger.
Harry having a tough night. 0 for 2 with a walk. I mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Denny Belknap has really done a nice job for the Nationals in relief of Ty Clark, who only went 1 inning. Joe Roundtree went the first 3, and he started the 4th inning, but was taken out after allowing a base runner. And then Clark worked through that inning, and then Belknap has been in the rest of the time and done a really good job. His 4th inning will work.
1-2 count now to Stelt.
Here he takes that pitch inside.
Back in the first inning, Harry had that ground ball that 9 times out of 10 would end up with an RBI, but West Allis played aggressively on defense.
Call strike 3. Harry not too happy. Second time he's been called out on strikes in the ball game. And now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, it's going to bring up the Northwoods cleanup hitter, Jacob Neese.
0 for 2 on the day is Neese.
Yeah, it's not been a good night for Sheboygan. We were expecting big things with Jared Reclitis pitching, but just not to be. This West Allis club is a fine team.
Where sometimes baseball you can have one of the best pitchers out in the league, or even this level of baseball on the mound, and just one game doesn't quite make it click.
We talked about the standings earlier. Lombard's in first, the Nationals are in second place. And Jacob goes down swinging, and Belknap strikes out 2 of the 3 hitters he faced here in the 8th. And as we go to the 9th, it'll still be West Allis 6 and Sheboygan 3.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Getting ready to start the 9th inning. Eric Zuberbeer is still on the mound for Sheboygan. He'll face the number 3 hitter, Brian Huntsinger.
Sheboygan looking to shut down this West Allis Nationals team, heading to the top of the 9th, trying to make it so that they can come back at least easier than if they were to give up anything.
Huntsinger is 1 for 4 in the ball game. He got an RBI single in the 7th and scored. It's a big 4-run inning for the Nationals. Couple of walks and an error contributed to the scoring. And Nationals also collected 3 hits in the inning, all of them singles. Zuberbeer starts off Huntsinger with a couple of strikes.
Really, just this game overall has been a lot of singles. Of the 12 hits between the two teams, I believe only 2 are extra base hits. Riley Palmquist had a double back in the 2nd, and then Aaron Gex had the home run.
Pop up on the infield. Jurgensen making the call. And the catch. Tyrese Mitchell is up next.
Mitchell had another RBI single in his last
Of the
appearance.
7 hits for the Nationals, just that home run is the only extra base hit. And then you mentioned the double by Palmquist, our only extra base hit. So line drive out to right. Hansen retreating and makes the catch up against the fence. After he made the catch, he runs up the fence. Don't punch a hole in that fence, in that sign.
That one, not quite sure how well we could catch it. Might have been caught right where we have a couple of poles in the way, but that one, a very nice job ranging over from Hansen.
Yeah, he caught, I think he had about 1 step on the warning track when he caught it, and then his momentum took him up to the fence.
Not quite the Bo Jackson wall run, but still an impressive climb up the fence.
Dalton Madsen up. He's 2 for 4.
Two-0 count to Madsen.
Pitch is outside, makes it 3-0.
Zuber just looking to throw a strike with this one. Will not do so.
4-pitch walk for Eric, and again he gets the first 2 hitters of the inning and allows a base runner. He did the same thing back in the 8th. He's going to try and get the third out a little quicker than he did in the 8th inning. It brings up Aaron Gex. Aaron having a mixture of views tonight. We mentioned the home run to right, but his other at-bats, he struck out every time. So he's 1 for 4. Checks the swing, takes that pitch for a ball low.
Those first 2 outs in the inning very quick, but then the 4-pitch walk. Now 5 straight balls in a row for Zuberbeer.
Breaking ball is up high. Looked like it might have came down, but umpire called it a ball, 2-0.
Home plate umpire has taken his time with some of the calls, at least in terms of vocalizing for the people outside of the batter's box.
That pitch also high, 3-0. That's 7 straight balls for Eric, and he did a really great job getting the first 2, but he's having trouble finding the strike zone all of a sudden.
A couple of these pitches have been very close, but home plate umpire calling them balls.
It's a 3-0 pitch on the way. That's in there for a strike. I think X knew it, but he was trying to sell the umpire on ball 4, but he wasn't going for it.
And sometimes a big skill for anyone in baseball is just fooling the umpire.
A foul tick right into the mid of Justin Snell makes it 3-2. Madsen will be on the move now with this 3-2 pitch.
And I think getting up to, at least getting that first strike on Gex, very big, because all 3 of his strikeouts have been swinging. Very healthy cuts on them as well.
Zuberbeer comes set. There's a off the handle of the bat, and just popped up to second baseman. Council races over, makes the easy catch, and that'll take us to the bottom of the 9th.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
We're back here for the start of the 9th inning, and CJ just brought up a real good point. You know, we're only down 3. It's not that bad, but the way the course of the game has gone and the way our offense has been not very productive, those 3 runs seem like about 6. Denny Belknap still on the mound for the Nationals. We mentioned the fine job he has done. looking to go his 5th inning, starting his 5th inning of work. Jimmy Jurgensen will lead off the 9th for Sheboygan.
0 for 3 on the day and has spread the ball out in terms of power. Struck out, had an unassisted ground out to first, and then a fly ball to center.
First pitch is low for ball 1. I was looking at the walk situation for the Nationals pitchers, and Roundtree had 2, Clark had none, and Belknap so far in his outing has only given up 1. None of the players that walked for Sheboygan scored, but Palmquist, who was hit by a pitch, did score a run. Jimmy with a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, you have a pitching change. Mitch Crowley on the mound.
Oh, glad to get that change.
And they say he swung.
Oh boy, Jimmy not able to check his swing. And it's a strikeout. And the fans in the stands are not happy. Who's pitching?
Mitch Crawley.
Mitch
setting
Crawley
up for the save. Let's watch
Mitch's first pitch is outside for ball 1. Riley Palmquist is up.
That one very close.
Yeah.
It's called a ball. Number of calls.
Belknap went 4 innings. He only allowed 1 hit, no runs. He was pitched a very fine ball game. Kind of bridged the gap between the first part of the game and now their closer. He had 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. And it did not allow any runs, of course. Bill, the winner for the Nationals would be Belknap, and correct. If it stays this way, which we hope it doesn't. Palmquist with a swing and a miss. That makes the count 3-2.
Three-two count. Crawley pitching the full.
There's a pop-up on the infield. And caught by the shortstop. And that's 2 outs in the 9th, and that brings up Bennett Becker.
Riley very unhappy with that hit. Immediately spiking the bat onto the ground.
Well, the fans can complain as much as they want about the umpiring, but the fact of the matter is Sheboygan's just not hitting the ball.
Been a number of good pitches to hit that have just been pretty weak pop-ups. That one called a strike on the outside corner.
That pitch just outside for ball. Evens the count at 1-1. Mitch Crowley in the pitch this 9th inning. Looking to get the save. That pitch touches the outside corner for strike 2. Makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Down maybe helped a little bit by Kyle Smith behind the plate.
Becker, last chance for Sheboygan. Hits that one out to right. Madsen racing over and has it. And with that out, the Nationals a winner. They win it 6-3. They ended up with 6 runs on 7 hits and no errors. Sheboygan finished with 3 runs on 5 hits and 3 costly errors. The winning pitcher for the ball game is Denny Belknap, and Mitch Crowley, who came in and pitched the 9th, gets the save. The losing pitcher was Sheboygan's starter, Jared Recklitis. Our next ball game will be tomorrow night when Appleton comes down for a 7:30 game. Until then, for my partner, Charlie Hine, I'm Mike Martin saying thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.